quick refresher. So you are, and have been for the past 3 sessions, been on a mission to kill Captain Marcan. You went to his fort, which is on its own little island. There was a whole thing about the dwarf being in a box.
Yeah,
it worked.
It did work.
Sure.
You got to the island. You then kind of inexplicably just started causing chaos on the island, setting boats on fire. It was just a little bit chaotic, but from that chaos came something good, because you managed to get access to the fort for dinner with the captain later on that evening. Although he didn't... So he invited Mishak and Salah, I think. And then Vic kind of managed to get himself invited by just wandering over and be like, oh, I like dinner.
Oh, priest.
So he managed to kind of get himself in on it. However, poor Rika didn't get an invite. So at the end of last session, there was conversation about what the plan was, and it was again that Rika was going to jump in a box, much to his rage. There was talk of trying to make it look like an accident. So Salah was saying that he was going to take the captain on a walk around the walls of the fort, potentially yeet him off it and make it look like it was an accident, and then you guys could just leave. There was other talks of getting him into a room, killing him, and putting him in the box that Rika was in and leaving him, thinking that no one would open the box for a little while. But I don't think a specific plan was settled on.
Yeah, I think we did settle on that one, because I think that was Hugh's plan, and it was a good idea because nobody was going to open it because it was addressed to the captain.
Yes. So you need to find some red wine, because you promised some quality red wine to Marcan for the meal, which I think it was talked about that you were just going to get it from the inn and hope that he didn't realise that it was wine from the inn. You were then talking about possible escape routes. There was a little bit of confusion about Rika thinking that he could walk through walls, which he cannot do yet.
Yeah.
A couple more levels.
A couple more levels until he can do that. And that was that. You know that you need to get the amulet to prove that you have completed the mission and to be able to take that back to Telescar. And you spotted the amulet while he was in town, and it is a skull and crossbones kind of golden coin that is around his neck. We left off where you were literally in the room about to... Where are you? This one. I guess about to go and get some wine and pop someone in a box, potentially.
Good plan. Think
Possibly.
inside the box.
Thinking inside the box, yes, exactly.
Amazing.
I thought it was outside the box, but okay, guys.
Well, Rika will be thinking inside the box.
Does Rika think?
Enough with the box, Diggs. Enough. You're all assholes.
Hopefully, the next contract that you have, there'll be no boxes included. Maybe.
Oh.
If there is a box, I swear to God, someone else is getting stuffed in it forcibly.
Okay.
What you have seen? Yes, you have seen the amulet. That is difficult to read.
That is just my pretty actually not bad handwriting.
I have seen
The amulet
up close.
Up close.
Up close. Okay. Yes,
The
you have
lines
seen
above
it.
that I'm like, nope. It's like,
I don't know what it says after coin.
I think I was meant to write. I don't really know. It says at sum. Don't know what that means. It was 5 months ago, but sure.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Sure. So yeah, that's where we're picking up. So you have somewhat of a plan, I guess. I can't remember if you were sticking with accident fall off wall or killing him and shoving him in a box.
Can I ask a question? Because I'm a bit confused.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah.
I can't walk through walls,
yet.
But I have the spell, which is a 5th level spell, but I'm 6th level and I can't remember when it unlocks 5th level spells. I'm confused as hell, Lynn.
You, I
Because I
think,
don't
level
understand why it's
17.
even on the list.
It's on the list because you have that ability based on your subclass or whatever it was that gave you it. But until you have a spell slot that can cast it, you can't
Is
use
of
the
that level.
ability.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
it. That's fine.
So unless
Cleared
you've
it back
got a
up
little
again.
square,
Yep,
which, like you say, it's going to be high level, I think that you'll unlock that.
Yeah.
Because it is
that's
quite a
cleared everything
powerful.
up.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's quite a powerful spell to be able to just walk through a wall.
Yeah, I think it's next level actually. Yeah, level 7. Yeah.
No, it won't be. It won't be level 7. Nice try. No.
Points for effort, though.
Is it? That was kind of a mediocre effort. I'm going to be honest.
Fair.
Yeah. So over to you guys. You are literally in your hotel room currently. I can't remember if Bundy is invisible currently or is visible for everybody to see there, but he's there too.
Yeah. I don't remember.
I can see Bundy, yes.
I mean, they've all seen him before.
Yep. Yeah, so in terms of setting the scene, it is probably kind of mid to late afternoon. The inn is starting to get a little bit busier. Few people kind of wandering in, and yeah, you can hear the noise coming from in your room. It's not like rowdy or anything like that, but you can hear that it's getting a little bit busier as the afternoon draws on.
Right.
Are we all going to look dapper for our meal / murder tonight?
Just thinking, the guards would. Do you think the guards on the gate would have been given an exact number of guests coming to dine, or just told that to expect some guests to come and dine?
I imagine if they were competent security, Salar kind of somewhat drolls on, then they would have been told the number of guests to expect. So I can't imagine we'd be able to squeeze little Ricker in anywhere, I'm afraid.
I was trying to see if I could sweet talk him through the gate.
Could we not
You are
just say
quite
he
good at
was
that,
our
my friend,
maid?
aren't you?
I have got a bit of a slippery tongue, yes.
Oh, Father, sir.
Yes. Could we not just say he was your maid? Or some other sort of entourage?
Well, I think, unfortunately, I'm Ricker's assistant, sort of.
Mm.
I know, yes.
Yeah.
Well, into the box you go, Ricker.
Bullshit.
I mean, what spells do I have?
I know, that's what I'm looking through.
Yeah, I'm looking through my spells. I've actually got Fly. So as Salar kind of contemplates this, he goes, what about a flying dwarf? Maybe he could be some sort of aerial reconnaissance, perhaps? Is that something that we could potentially look into?
I feel people would see a dwarf fly up into the sky from on the island.
Ricker just turns to Salar and he's just looking at him and he's like, no. Nothing else, just straight up just says no. That's it.
Fair. Salar just kind of casually shrugs and he's like, fair enough, the offer was there all the same. I can drop a sleet storm on someone, but I don't think that'd horribly help either. Okay.
What do you want to do, Ricker? What's your grand plan?
I say I just sneak in there and hide what you all eat. Then we kill him, lock him in a room, take the necklace, and leave. Job done.
Maybe if he has a thing for dwarves, we could pimp Ricker out, and then it could die in some sort of embarrassing sexual encounter. No one would dare look into that to suspect, you know. Maybe if he got choked too tightly as part of the gameplay. Could be quite scandalous, but no one would ever really openly talk about it. That could be a great idea.
Ricker's just sat down and he's like leaning back on a chair, and upon hearing this, he just picks up his blunderbuss and he's just got it resting across his lap, but it would look like it's loosely aimed at Sala.
Fair. At this, Salar kind of softly chuckles. Salar would just kind of softly chuckles, like, it's just an idea. You never know. If he had a thing from, you know, the beautiful type like myself or Mishak, then I'm sure we could arrange something equally embarrassing. But who knows?
Yeah, he just taps his blunderbuss and he just looks away. He's like, he's not entertaining it.
Ricker, I hope you're not normally this boring, my good man. Anyway, weren't we meant to get this gentleman some fine wine? Aren't we going to just... We're not just going to commandeer some cheap hotel wine, are we?
Yes.
Okay. Fair.
I'm not really sure this is the place to be purchasing anything fine, but maybe one of the many ships that comes to dock. Oh no, we're just
Right. But wouldn't we need to know the layout of the room that you're having food in, if that's where you're going to kill him?
Yeah, because I'm also just thinking, if I can't remember if OC did we discuss? No, we wouldn't have because we was coming up with the plan in the room. Like if we now on our way up to see the guy with a crate, they might also be a bit suspicious and go, "Can we have a look in the crate?"
Of course they would.
Because you know, got to protect our boss, and you're all new people.
I mean, could anyone, you know, do some jiggery pokery and make people invisible?
That's what I was just thinking.
That's not actually such a daft idea.
Yeah,
No, fly's the only thing I've got at the moment, guys. That could possibly help here.
I mean, I could, if sneaking is the only option, I could cast Pass Without Trace, but you'd still be a sneaking dwarf, Ricker.
Yeah, Ricker turns and he's looking and he's like, all right, go on, I'm listening.
I mean, there's not much more to it than that. We sneak in, we regroup later.
All right.
Random question: how heavy is Ricker?
I'll have a look at the description, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's not that heavy. He's only like, well, I say he's not that heavy.
190.
Yeah, he's 190, so he's like a little ball of meat. He's a little meatball.
Can I? Can I? I mean, I don't know how long he's going to be able to hold it. Can I try to straight track with Bundy to lift Ricker?
Sure, yeah.
I see where this is going. This is funny.
If he can carry him,
I'll
just say any equipment the imp wears or carries is invisible with it.
Yeah.
So if he can carry Ricker,
does it say any equipment that he? Because Ricker's not.
For the purposes of this, I am the weapon.
Ricker's a creature.
Okay, yeah, there's just any equipment.
Yeah, so it's not. He wouldn't class as equipment, I don't think.
I mean, he's a bit of a tool.
Oh well,
hey!
yeah, true.
All right, I was trying to think outside that box. I say we just sweet talk him in. If we all get a little bit rowdy, they'll act rowdy like because it's only early afternoon. We've not got dinner, drinks till a bit later, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's all be seen to be carousing and drinking at the bar, and make friends with Rika at the bar, and then we all sort of stumble up together like, we got this, come on, he's with us, and act drunk and try to sweet talk our way through with our new drinking companion.
You think they'd let us in if we were rowdy and
We're not so much
imbibed?
rowdy, but I've had a few drinks and be a bit more lively. If we are, they do know that we're coming to already have dinner, and I mean, it is like a pirate's island. They're probably used to seeing people drunk.
Well,
Sounds reasonable. I mean, we could simply just fake being drunk and start making our way up there, you know? Instead of actually being drunk, we could still retain full possession of our faculties, maybe.
Exactly, we can
Possibly.
fake the drunkenness.
I'm sure you fake many a thing, my fine friend.
And does prestidigitation, can that make alcohol be not alcoholic?
I think it just changes the flavour of it, so...
Well, I mean, if we can clean stuff, can it clean the alcohol out of the water?
Technically, alcohol is an antiseptic, isn't it? So, but I see what you're saying.
feel like
We try to prestidigitation our drinks to not be alcoholic. Then we can keep drinking so it looks like we are still drinking it.
I mean, I hate to say it, but OC, is that not like, I'm sure there's like a druid spell that's like purify food and drink or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
which I don't have prepared.
No, it's a paladin and a monk spell, and you can basically I've seen it on a paladin. You can basically purify all food and drink of any poisons
It's
or
paladin,
any disease.
druid, cleric, and artificer. If only you had an artificer with you.
Well, yeah.
Mm.
Oh.
So, what's the plan? Salar kind of just raises his eyebrow almost comically at the matter.
How big is Vic?
I'm only a small boy, like 2'10", but I can turn into a spider on demand.
Oh, because they only know the number of people, but they don't know what the people look like.
Ah, yes, I
But
could.
surely, if... Go on, finish your point, Ross, sorry.
I was just going to say I could arachnid up. Yes.
And you could just be like a spider on someone's coat, and then other three of us walk through because they don't know who to expect. Just that there are 3 guests, and if they ask for names, Rika can say here's Vic. And once we're in, then Rika can disappear once we're getting to the final venue, like slip away. And
I
then-
can keep the
and
area
it comes
secure,
back.
moving up to the door. You guys go through the door, and then we can kill the guy.
Because then Marcan would recognize the other 3 and not Rika, but by then he's already inside the compound.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yes, as good a plan as any. Yes.
I won't point.
Plausibly
Salar
good
just
plan.
kind of rolls his eyes and says, I won't point out the flaws to this plan. Come on, my merry band of assassins. Sorry, murder hobos. Let's give this a go, shall we?
I'm no hobo, but sure, let's go.
Hobo, but sure, let's go. Did you mean to rhyme there, Ross?
Always, I'm very melodic.
Love it.
I do. I waddle a little bit and try and do a campy old man dance.
Are we talking about in real life or in roleplay here?
Both.
A
Nice.
little bit of column A and a little bit of column B.
Ooh. So, are we going? Yes,
Sure.
let's go.
How did you turn your token, Nick?
Yes, I was doing a campy dance.
Yeah, how did you do that?
Magical.
Oh, yeah, okay, I get it.
So,
After much planning.
yeah, after some amazing planning, are you heading straight to the fort, or?
Well, what time did... Because he did give us a time, didn't he? But I don't have that written down.
No, me neither.
All I have is meal this evening.
Yeah, so I would think, around kind of probably about 7ish, kind of like evening time. At the minute, it's kind of mid-afternoon.
All right. So, Ricker, back out the window.
All right.
Well, we
On the
still
way.
want to be seen with you in case things do go wrong. We can still split up the group. We can slip them a day into you, and you can say, I don't know who those guys are.
Agreed. Good luck.
We'll reconvene in the room before we head up the shops, up to the guy, so that Vic can shrink down and you can join the party. Which undoes everything I just said in the last sentence before that. Come out with us through the door.
I love the idea that it's probably halfway out the window now, like, oh, okay. Yeah. So as you head back towards the bar area, you'd see that there are a few guards in there, a few townspeople. And Meg, the barmaid, is still on shift, looking extremely tired, and just kind of cleaning down the bar currently.
Is my new best mate Carl around? Was Carl right?
Carl was the
Snoozing.
guy that you were helping in that fight, and he has headed up to the fort. He kind of wandered off with Marcan.
Crane, head guard? Is it Crane?
Crane was the old dock master, so he was the one that got arrested.
Framed.
Yeah, you framed him, and he got arrested and kind of dragged away by guards.
Hello, my dear.
Oh, hi. Can I get you anything?
Yes, a plan.
Yes, we'll take. I look at Ricker, who has now appeared that I didn't expect because I wasn't in the room at that time. 4. I'll have a wine, but maybe 2 wines and 2 ales. You look tired. Are you okay, my little? He kind of almost grimaces a bit as he tries to be nice. My little dove.
It's just been a long day.
Yes, I feel you. Not long left, right? With all these lovely people around. Nice people? How are they? Are they nice to you? Are they nice to everyone?
Same as any tavern, I guess. Some are nicer than others. Some are just plain weird. And she kind of gives a look that kind of lingers on you for quite a while.
Yes. Oh, I hate the weird ones in the bars. Anyway, 4 drinks, please.
Yeah, so what was that? 4 wines, did you say?
2 wines and 2 ales, right, Ricker? I turn around.
Yeah, Ricker just nods.
Okay. She kind of like wanders off to do that, and as she's kind of wandering off, you would see that on the shelves at the kind of back of the bar here, There are some bottles of wine kind of stacked up. If you did want to take any wine with you, that you can buy them by the bottle.
Do they look fancy?
I mean, there's a variation. A few of them do look fancier than others. She comes and pops down the drinks, and she's like, "Okay, so that's 3 silver, please."
Oh, sure. I like delve into my little like posh looking but still rags that I'm wearing and pull out 3 silver.
Thank you. Enjoy your drinks.
Thank you. Hope you get off soon.
Yeah.
3 silver.
Lynn,
Yeah.
would I be able to do a perception check on the wine to see which ones I believe to look of the more fancier variety?
Yeah, you can do.
Okay, let's see how. Go on, buddy.
No, I was just going to ask if I could do the same thing. That's why I moved over to this side of the bar.
Okay. Perception check.
Yep.
That was abysmal, but okay.
Rika, because of kind of the angle that you're at, you're kind of like trying to lean over, and Meg kind of like looks at you and she's like, "Can I help?" Or
Oh, no. I just trying to find out which bottle looks the oldest out of the wine.
are you going to buy them or just stare at them?
Well, I needed to know which one was the oldest bottle first.
She kind of like sighs and makes her way over. So like, as you're kind of like looking at it, you would see that kind of on a shelf on their own, there are 4 bottles of wine that are stood up properly rather than like being laid on their side. And they have quite a fancy label. There's like gold kind of leaf on the edges of them. They look very fancy. Meg kind of goes as if she's going to reach for that, and then kind of pulls her hand further down and pulls out what looks to be the crappiest bottle of wine, Rika, that you have ever seen. But it is old. It's got dust all over it. So she's doing what you asked her to.
Yeah.
She's like, "This is the oldest thing we've got."
Oh, right. So does it have a fancy label?
It does not have a fancy label. The label, it looks as if it's kind of like worn away a little bit. And it literally looks as if this is a bottle that somebody has forgotten has even been there.
Mm-hmm. So, how distracted is Meg right now with Rika?
Yeah.
I would say she's pretty distracted because, yeah, she's kind of brought him over the bottle and is kind of watching him, assuming that he has taken the bottle and is like examining it. Then she would be kind of watching him with interest, as if to be like, "What the hell is he doing? It's a bottle of wine." Like,
yeah.
So she's pretty distracted.
Lynn, can I do a perception check to see how many people are watching the bar?
Yeah.
Or-
Roll perception.
Or do you think? Oh, I was going to ask. Do you think? I didn't mean to jump in. I just wanted to ask if that was the best role for that or not.
Yeah, probably for you to glance around and see how many people are looking. Yeah.
Watching.
Yep.
Okay, let's give it a go. Oh.
Yeah, you can't really tell.
Okay.
This guy at the end here is Bartholomew. He's the drunk guy that was there last night. He's still there, and he is eyeing up Meg. Like, he's looking at her. You would register that is pure lust in his eyes as he's looking at her now. And as you kind of glance around, everybody is kind of like looking up and down. They're, like just generally looking around the room, so you wouldn't be able to tell whether they would notice if you were to do anything untoward.
So I'm going to quickly usher Mishak over. So Solar tries to subtly usher Mishak over. If you can, my good man.
Yeah,
Sorry, I was muted.
Mishak, roll perception to see if you
Would
see.
I have seen? Yeah, that's
Yep.
what I was trying to ask, but then I realized I was on mute. Perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're looking around too. You're just like, you kind of spot Salar making some sort of gesture, but you're like, we don't know what he's doing. And then you're kind of watching Meg and Rika kind of have this conversation.
Mm-hmm. So Salar quickly turns to Mishai, says, and moves over to him and just says, "My friend, quickly give me a small distraction if you can. 10 seconds tops is all I need." And as I do this, sorry, go on, Mishak.
I was just looking around the room. Are there lights, candles, or?
Yeah, so there are several kind of candles. There's a candle on each table, and there are candles like on the edge of the bar as well.
Okay, watching whatever Solo's doing as he gets towards the bar, I will prestidigitation the candle out in front of Meg, and then the one on this table as well.
Okay, yeah.
So,
and the one on the table behind you as well, yeah?
Yeah, it's sort of like a so the candles just sort of start to puff out.
Yeah, okay.
So as Mishak does that, I've got a particular feeling called telekinetic, and what that does is it allows me to cast Mage Hand without the verbal or somatic components, but it can also make me make the hand invisible.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an invisible Mage Hand without using any of the somatic or verbal components, and I'm going to grab for one of the gold leaf label wine bottles that is actually stood up at the top of the bar.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. So I use the Mage Hand ability. I bring the wine bottle over, and realizing that I probably don't have that much space on me because I'm only just carrying my robes at the moment. Misha, could I pass it to you? Do you have sufficient space to covertly store a bottle of good wine?
I can try to find space in my jacket.
Yeah. Roll sleight of hand for me.
Me roll sleight of hand.
Yep, because you're trying to pass him.
Oh, shit. Disadvantage. Balls. It says when not proficient with armor worn, cowl of the faceless. Does that mean I'm still wearing the cowl, Lynn? Or
I assume you are not wearing it in public.
not wearing it?
Yeah, so it'd just be a normal roll.
Not wearing it in public.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Thank God for that. Okay.
That would draw some attention. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So you do all this, like the lights go out. Kind of Meg is first distracted by Rika, and then very distracted by the fact that two of the candles are blown. She's kind of like looking around to see if she can see where a draft is coming from or something like that. As your mage hand or this. To anybody looking, this bottle of wine just kind of floats over from behind the bar to you. You kind of grab it, and then as you go to pass it to Mishak, you just kind of fumble and drop it, and it smashes. And Meg is like, "Oh, what?" And she kind of comes over, and she's leaning right over the bar, kind of like looking at the thing, going, what is going on?"
When she does that, can I try and yeet over the bar and go into stealth and grab one of the other ones?
Yeah, roll stealth for me.
Oh god, this is gonna be
professional.
interesting.
You're professional squad guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
good lord. Oh, fuck's sake! So as I go to jump over the bar, I fall, and I just fall flat on my face behind the bar. I am literally now here, flat on my face.
He checks out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, he's gone.
So she kind of like, obviously she's like leaning right over the bar. She's kind of like almost like pulling herself so that she's half over the bar to like look. trying to identify where this bottle has come from and whether it's one of her bottles or it came from a table and was knocked over. And then she just hears like this kind of kerfuffle behind her and like, ugh,
Yeah.
as you kind of land like on the floor behind her, and she kind of turns. And there's this moment where she's just staring at you and you're staring at her, and she's like, yeah.
He's literally like on the floor looking up at her, and he's just like, whoops, I fell.
Over the bar.
It's very high, bar stools. I'm a dwarf.
So you fell over the bar, and she's kind of like stood, like arms crossed, like tapping her foot, like staring down at you.
He's going for it. He's not fucking. He's just gonna keep selling it. He's like,
Yeah.
that's right. These are not dwarf stools. They're bloody high. I fell.
Okay, roll deception for me.
God.
Oh wow, that is so bad, but she rolled so low. She rolled a 3. So she kind of like is stood there a few more moments, like raising an eyebrow, and then she's like, oh, well, I suppose we don't really get many dwarves here. I've never really considered the height of the... do you need my help to get up? And she kind of like bends down to try and help you.
Yeah, it lets her like help him up.
She kind of like dust, like is
Also,
like dusting
Solar's hightailed it out there.
yeah.
Solar's hightailed it out there.
Just like, fuck this, join.
She's kind of like
Oh.
dusting you off, and then kind of like lifts the hatch that is kind of just next to where you were sat, and she's like, well, there you go. Sorry about that.
To make it not look weird, he jumps back onto his stool and he's like, no, it's all right. But you need to sort it out, okay? You could end up having a claim. Injuries.
Yeah. You probably shouldn't sit on it again if it caused you problems before. Maybe try and sit at one of the tables. That might be a little bit more secure.
All right, good point. He like hops off, and he just goes, sits next to Vic.
She kind of is just stood there, just utterly baffled, as she kind of walks back over and lights the candle again that is on the bar.
Vic is like, I've got 2 wines and 2 ales, and I'm pretending that I'm just praying to my goddess, who isn't my goddess, Saloon, as all this chaos has unfolded, to make it look like I'm not involved in the theft or anything else. It's like, oh no, Saloon, please save me, save us, do before this chaos, please, somebody help me.
Yeah, so as you're kind of doing that, Meg kind of comes out. She's got like a broom, and she kind of comes out and starts sweeping up the bottle of wine. As she's kind of doing that, she like picks up like some of the shards and is looking at it and sees that it's got the gold leaf on it, and she's like, what? How did this get... No one's bought any of this for ages. It's so expensive. What is everybody else up to? Mishak, Salah, you went out. What are you doing?
I was giving Eddie wide berth because that was just... He's outside basically shaking his head like, oh, God, what the hell was that? People just bought drinks and then caused chaos.
Okay, yeah. So you would have probably seen that Solara has kind of come out as well to try and get away from the absolute mess that was when you were just trying to get some wine. Could have just paid for it, but yeah, sure.
Paid for it. We're all thieving murderers.
Yeah.
Not very subtle ones.
Yeah, not at all.
So Salar kind of like gingerly steps over to Mishak. He's like, well, that could have gone better.
That was a shit show.
Yes. If Taliskar asks, it was all Ricker's fault. Agreed?
we won't even mention it. We just need, hell,
The
even the
amulet.
cheapest bottle of wine. Trust me, I can make him think it's the best.
I'm sure you do that very regularly, my good man. So let's go to the discount cart and see what we can find for a couple of bronze, maybe?
The discount card.
I don't know. Does such a thing even exist?
I'm
Not that.
assuming it's
Not.
just the bar here, my friend. I don't imagine there's any other alcohol selling establishments to get a bottle from.
Not like back home. Never mind. Anyway. So, are you going to go back in and sleuth around? I think it might be safer if I not be associated with that event, at least for the immediate memory.
Well, yes, I'm gonna go join Vic for the drinks that he had. I think that if the little guy has 4, it could add some more trauma to the mission.
Of course.
Way back then.
Have we passed a couple hours yet, Lynn, with this chaos?
I wouldn't say it's been a couple of
4
hours,
minutes.
though. Yeah, it's been just like a
Okay.
chaotic, like 20
Oh, it
minutes or
feels like
something.
it.
Yeah.
Feels like it's been an hour.
And poor Vic's been sat there with these 4 drinks in front of him, just like, I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, Ricker's doubling down on his ale. He's practically finished it.
Here, Mishak, have some now rather warm wine.
Yeah. Prestidigitation back to a nice, cool temperature.
Amazing.
And also improve the taste.
Yes. Yeah, you would probably need to do that on these, because this is the cheap wines that she gave you. Meg has kind of finished cleaning up and is kind of back behind the bar. Kind of just stood looking very quizzically at the shelf that had the fancy wine on, and she's like, I don't remember. That's so strange.
Hiding.
Doesn't feel like it's been our, most subtle mission so far.
No, we'll definitely give a slightly edited version of this to the boss when we get home.
Yeah, and let's just maybe lay low for, a couple of hours.
Yeah, no more anything that might draw attention to us, I'd say. Looking at Rika.
What? What did I do?
Well, whatever you didn't do, you did it loudly.
Yeah, so Meg kind of is finished now. She's just back to doing what she was doing. People kind of coming up to the bar. She serves them, gets on with her business. And a couple of hours kind of pass. You guys kind of just sat in the corner, drinking, people watching. A lot of kind of sailor type people kind of coming in and getting a little bit rowdy. Meg kind of taking it all in her stride, as it comes to about the time where you would be needing to set off towards the fort.
Excellent. Well, guys, shall we head to the room and I'll grab us a bottle on the way.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, be careful not to arouse suspicion given the, the events of the last wine bottle that entered our reach. Not my reach, I'm taking no responsibility for that wine bottle. But, yes. So,
On the bar.
Do I need to sneak back in, Lynn, or can I just casually walk back in?
You could just. Well, she didn't see that it was you that smashed the bottle. She just heard the bottle smash and turned around, and you and Mishak happened to be stood in the area. She didn't see you steal it.
Okay. KK. Thank you. she's a bad influence on me. So
As you approach the bar, Meshach, she kind of like looks up and she looks thoroughly done. She's very tired, very exhausted. She's like, yeah.
Yes, hi, milady. Could I please just grab a bottle of one of your cheaper wines, please?
Yeah, sure. Are you not bothered about like vintage or anything?
No, just one of your more cheap wines, please. We're just getting drunk, so it doesn't matter what it tastes like.
Great. Well, don't be causing any trouble, please.
Not at all.
And she comes and puts a bottle of wine. She's like, that's just 1 silver.
Okay, and I'll give it the silver. And I'll head through to the room.
Enjoy. Don't trash that room.
Ever, we'll pay for any damages. Okay, in the room, I'm now going to completely peel off the label,
Yeah.
prestidigitation it to get it all off, and then polish up the bottle as much as I can so it looks super shiny.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to prestidigitation the liquid inside to make it as sweet and expensive tasting as I can muster with whatever magic I have.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how it's done, guys. Easy. Cheap wine tastes great. A clean skin.
Marcan asks, what vintage are we going to say this is, my good man? We're going to say it's a Bordeaux? Is it going to be
It's from my family vineyard back home.
Oh, very swanky. Was that before you murdered your family or after?
I didn't murder them.
Ah, they had an accident. Duly noted.
Rika just starts laughing. He's like, "That's right. Accidents, they happen all the time, don't they?"
Yes, and it's still talking now, isn't it, Rika? That was meant to be funny. Never mind.
Okay. Vic, are you ready to assume position?
Yes, I'm just trying to remember what my best animals are to turn into. Let me look through my list. Yeah, I'm gonna wild shape into a spider, please.
Okay. Yeah.
And you just see me on the bed, like tiny little spider, and I just kind of like hold up a couple of little legs and like
I'll put my hand
gesture
down.
as if to pick me up.
Oh.
I'll put my hand down.
Great. I'll crawl kind of onto your arm and into a pocket if you've got a pocket anywhere.
Just tuck up under the collar of my coat. Quite a big collar.
Great.
All right, gents. We've had our unfortunate test run for the evening, getting the nerves out. First solid mission as a team. But we've got this. Got to make Telescope proud. Simple. In, out, kill, take, go. Keep it tight. Keep it lean. We got this.
And don't forget, keep it quiet.
Yes.
I feel like you all feel inspired after that from
Yeah,
Meshach. So you
yeah.
can all have inspiration.
Oh,
Yay!
thank fuck.
I think we need that. Thank you, Lynn.
Yeah, we do.
A pity inspiration. We'll take it.
No,
Hell yeah.
Meshach's
Hell
giving
yeah.
like a, like, let's go, team.
Graphic speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was meant to inspire you, and it has.
It has.
Yeah. We'll take it. We're not arguing, Lynn.
Yeah. I feel positively inspired. Thank you, Meshach.
And now remember, once we're through, we need to find a way or somewhere to try to for you to slip off, Rika, and Vic, you join us again before we meet with what's his face? Marcan.
Yes,
You get like a
Captain
little click
Marcan.
of approval from underneath your collar.
Right.
And then to like the sound of like in our heads some inspiring music, we're all gonna strut out walking after like slow-mo action shot doom, 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 as we all stroll up.
Some sort of heist music as you're going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
looking very
yeah.
suave and cool.
Yeah.
Ocean's 11, that shit.
Yeah. No
Kind
one's
of,
going
yeah.
to trip or fall or anything, I'm sure.
Nope.
Or fumble.
Yeah, no, it's
No.
just like it's just like Hangover. Yeah, Ricker will just trip.
Hey, you need those dwarven stools, my good man.
That's right.
By the way, I love your accent, man. It's so cool.
It's a bit rusty at the moment.
I just love the idea of
Still
Meg now
cool.
trying to figure out how to make a dwarven stool because she can't make it short because then the dwarf can't see over the bar.
Yeah, you
She
see,
didn't
I
want to
messed
make
with
it
her
higher,
head.
so she's like, "How in the
Like a stool but with
Right.
steps.
Yeah.
I'll give you a clue. Yeah, a baby stool.
Yeah. You walk past and
With a
she's
little
just
table on
drawing
it.
like ideas on a napkin. She's like, would that make it safer? Would this be safe?
Seatbelt.
Yeah. I assume you are following them, Rika, because you haven't moved. From the-
Yeah, sorry, I was just not on the page. I was just reading something on my character sheet.
I like that you clarified on your character sheet and you went like, oh yeah, I was just...
Yeah, I'm just
on
reading the text
Facebook.
message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So you head up to the fort. Let's have a look here. Move you onto this map here.
Thank you, thank you.
A new map.
Oh God! Finally,
Yeah, so you...
it took us a year to get onto a new map. Fucking hell!
Wow.
You head up towards the fort. You really cannot miss it. It's a fort with like walls that are 30 feet high. And the road that you're walking up leads to a large wooden double entrance door that seems to be locked quite tight. However, stood on the wall above, you can see that there is a guard who is kind of like watching you as you make your way up to the door. He's like, yes, what do you want?
Yes, hi. We have dinner this evening with Marcan.
Oh, yeah, he said something. Just the three of you, is it? Yeah?
Yeah. Yes.
Are you the ones that got Crane in trouble?
That depends who's asking.
Wait,
Whoa.
who's Crane?
Yes, who's Crane?
The dock master, he came back with guards dragging him into the guards' quarters, shackled up and everything. It's quite funny, actually.
Oh,
not
God,
that I said that.
I was nothing to do with that. I was watching that from the other side of the port. Fucking hilarious.
Oh, I'm sure Marcan said that it was the people that had helped out with that were coming to dinner. And he kind of raises an eyebrow.
Some of us were more involved than others.
So,
If you speak to Carl, he can vouch for me.
all right, give me a minute. And he kind of disappears from sight, and you can hear as he's obviously going down some sort of ladder on the other side of the door, and then opens the door. This map is weird, so I'm gonna have to just move. What the hell just happened there? I have to just move you inside. Oop. And the guy just kind of stood behind you, and he's like, yeah, so you're here for dinner with the captain, yes?
That's correct.
Follow me then. And he starts kind of heading off deeper into the fort. He does not look behind him to see if you're following him. He just kind of walks off.
Is this, just out of curiosity, like a spit?
It is, yeah.
Like meat on a spit?
Yep.
Cool.
And
I was-
is this just some random hay, Lynn?
Yeah, is it hay
No,
bales?
they are bags of what looks from the spilled one. They're like sacks of flour.
Okay. What's this, Lynn?
That is the pile here. It's just planks.
Yeah.
It's just like just
Hmm.
short planks of wood.
Okay.
Yep. So he kind of is wandering along, wanders up to a door and starts kind of knocking on it. And you can hear kind of muffled noises from inside as they open up the door. And let me just make sure he's on the right layer.
Bait and switch. Bait and switch.
I did wonder. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's why I'm not getting that close.
Like I'll look back at Rika and sort of eyeline and gesture to the sacks.
Right.
Like point at the sacks.
Yeah, at this point, like Ricker would try to hide.
And I'll give Vic a little like tap, like sit.
Okay. So Rick, you're trying to hide amongst the sacks, yeah?
I'm just trying to like go all skulky and hide somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, because you need to obviously to go into a hide, then you need to have somewhere to actually hide. So roll stealth for me.
Don't understand why it keeps saying at disadvantage because I've got like advantage and disadvantage, so it's confusing.
Is that because you've got the cowl of the Faceless on, buddy? Because that's what it was doing with me.
Actually, no. But I will put that on. Thank you for reminding. I'll quickly put that on to hide. Because that will help.
So you've got
me.
disadvantage because you're wearing scale
Yeah,
mail
the
armor.
armor.
Yeah.
No,
which
I know
obviously
that.
It's quite creepy.
Yeah, but normally it's not. Normally it's both because of the cowl of the Faceless. So is that equipped or not?
It's going to be a highlighted red box if you've got it equipped, buddy.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, it is. It is equipped. Right, so I'll turn disadvantage
that'll
off
be
then, because technically it'll be a
It's
normal
just a
roll
straight
because I've got
roll.
advantage and disadvantage.
Yeah.
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 Nice, yeah. So you
Yeah.
kind of like, as you've been kind of walking, you've obviously been glancing around, making sure that no guards are in your eye line.
Yeah.
Because you can hear them kind of walking on the walls above you guys. And you kind of
Then
take the
he threw the
opportunity to...
Cowl on and just jumped in amongst the
yeah,
the bags.
okay.
As I de-wild shape, my passive perception is 22. Can I see Ricker?
Bloody hell.
Yeah, you would be able to see him. Yeah, where he is.
Can I just cast Pass Without Trace on him? Just to give him an extra plus 10.
Yep.
He needs it.
Okay.
I mean, you see like these like shadows and darkness and all of the dark between all the glinting stars kind of surround you to increase your stealth.
Okay. Yep. So as you kind of do that, the guard kind of has been knocking on the door. Someone opens the door and you would hear a familiar voice be like, yes, what is it? And he's like, oh, Captain, it's your guests that you invited for dinner. They're here. It's like, oh, yes, of course. Yes, send them in. And the guard kind of moves to be like, oh, if you want to head in.
Good evening, Marcan. How are you?
Oh, yes, not too bad, thank you. Welcome to the fort.
Thank you. It looks like you run quite a tight ship here. I can see why your business does so well.
Yes, well, you can't be too careful. There's all sorts of scoundrels come to this island trying to sell their goods.
And I suppose not so goods as well.
Exactly, and he kind of like chuckles to himself and he's like, well, the cook is preparing food. I'm sure you saw it on your way in.
Ah, the spit, yes.
Yes. They're working on that, so shouldn't be too long.
Well, please, as a gift for thank you for having us this evening, here is a nice drop from my own family's vineyard. I'll present him with the scrubbed up, fixed up bottle.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he kind of is like, oh, wow. And where are your vineyards? Where are you from?
Very good question, which I do know the answer to, surprisingly more recently than most people realize.
That's handy, isn't it? Isn't that handy?
It is handy. Yes, the vineyards, my family are from Silvery Moon, and the vineyards are just located a little bit out of town, out of the city.
Oh, Silvery Moon. Yes, I've heard of it. It's an impressive city. I've never been there myself.
Yes, I haven't been home for a while, but as work keeps me on the road. But yes, the family are usually able to ship out a few bottles to me every now and then to keep me in the tastes of home.
Ah, fair enough. Well, take a seat, and he gestures to the seats around the table.
Are there any windows?
So,
in this room?
Salah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go on, Roz. No, you first, Roz.
Sure. Are there any windows in this room, Lynn?
Yes. So, this is a window down here.
An internal window.
A window. What?
Sorry, is the fort? Is the fort like encased, or is it like open top? The fort?
No, yeah. So the fort is encased with like there's a 30-foot wall around the fort, so the window looks back out to where you've just been, where the spit is.
Yeah. Do I notice any secret doors or anything?
Roll perception for me.
Okie-dokie. It's not 20, baby.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, you don't notice any secret doors or anything like that. As you kind of sit down at the table, you spot that there is like a little pile of gold and some cards that are kind of just been thrown on the table as if this is somewhere where maybe Markham plays cards often.
No. Thank you. Go on, Scott.
Thank you, my good man. So Salah seats himself down, and because he sees himself as sort of a prince, he tries to act slightly more refined, but still makes himself comfortable, and looks to Mark and says, "So tell me, my good man, how did such a gentleman find yourself in this?" And he holds his hands up in sort of grandiose gesture and says, "Situation. How did you become inevitably the king of your own castle, as it were?"
Oh, well, and he kind of like looks a little hesitant, and then he's like, oh, well, same old story. Worked my way up through the ranks of the Navy, and in the end, I just had enough, to be honest. Had enough of working for other people, decided that I'd make this little place a place to call home, let's say.
Would I have noticed that that little sort of hesitation, Lynn? Or is that just something that...
Yeah, you would have noticed it, yeah. No, he would have definitely noticed that he kind of hesitated as if he didn't want to go into too much personal stuff.
Fair. And at this, Salah just kind of like gently nods his head. I see, my good man. Must say, you must sometimes worry about the crowd, especially with that old dockmaster earlier. Wasn't he one of your favourites, I was led to believe? How do you feel about the situation?
Well, he was... I thought he was useful. Having a orc like that around is, it's going to put most people off that want to cause any problems. But I've got enough loyal guards here that I'm confident that we can deal with any problems that arise. Not that you'd be causing any, of course.
No, of course not. And at this, he just kind of side glances at Nishak and just said his compatriots, and he's kind of course not. We wouldn't cause issues, would we, my fine friends?
What's going to happen to Crane? Like, how do you deal with insurrections and troublesome staff?
He kind of just smiles. Goes, well, that's not for you to worry about.
I do fear. I fear my goddess Saloon would be displeased, and it would bring me great, peace to know that he wasn't going to come to any untoward harm. And Vic looks up at.
Marcan kind of like visibly rolls his eyes, like, ugh. And he's like, he'll get what's coming to him. You have to be firm with these type of people, otherwise they might all get ideas.
Firm but fair, is that right, my good captain?
Exactly.
Indeed. And at this, has Marcan opened the bottle of wine, or?
He was kind of just talking to you guys, but then he does kind of like open up the wine and starts kind of pouring it into some glasses that are on the table. He's like, I trust you'll all join me with a drink.
Of course.
But of course.
So he kind of like pours out 4 glasses and then holds his in his hand and is watching intently the rest of you to see whether you drink.
Yeah, I will pick right up and have a well, not a big sip because I'm refined, but I'll have a sip and like sniff it, swirl it, taste it, as I remember.
As soon as
At
he
this,
sees,
Salar.
oh
Sorry.
go
on. Go on, you, Lynn.
As soon as he sees that you've taken a drink, he then kind of does the same, like brings it up, starts kind of smelling it, looks very impressed, takes a sip, kind of swirls it around his mouth a little, and he's like, very good. My compliments to your family, sir.
Thank you. Yes, they're known for their wine, surprisingly, but yeah, usually translates well. Well, that's a big man.
Yeah, so as you're kind of like chatting amongst yourselves, you kind of hear like, like as like coming towards the door, and a very large individual, like larger than Endo-sized chunk, kind of comes in with, he's got kind of 3 plates along one arm and then one in the other hand, and he's like, dinner, Captain, and starts kind of putting the food down. You can see that there's like potatoes on there, there's some of the pig that he's obviously cut from the pig that was on the spit, some vegetables. Like, it looks quite nice, quite edible.
It seems to... Meals seem to be much better on the inside of the walls than on the out. No offense to Meg, of course. She runs a fine establishment, but yes, you're definitely on the right side for dining.
Ah, yes. Well, one of the best chefs there is, aren't you, Marco? Marco kind of does a grin. And, like, as he grins, you can see that, like, a lot of his teeth are kind of rotted away, and, like, he just gives off this just nasty vibe, but he kind of, like, smiles, and then he's like, I'll bring dessert later, and then steps out, and you can hear him huffing and puffing.
Look like he can fight.
He looks like even walking for him is a struggle. So he's kind of like out of breath, he's huffing and puffing, like exacerbating every time he makes a step, kind of thing. He is a cook that obviously enjoys his own food a lot.
So
Vic is going to go straight for the meat and leave everything else. Anyone want these sad green things? The meat's delicious, by the way, Malcolm.
You don't eat vegetables?
I'm a reptile!
I
think we eat?
To be honest, I've never met a whatever you are. No offense.
I'm taken, I guess. Charmed. Yes, meat is my... Well, I need meat, I'm old. Can I have some of yours? If you can have some of my vegetables.
sure. And he just looks utterly baffled by this like encounter. So he just puts a little bit of his meat on your plate and is like, there you go.
Oh, Sir Luan, praise you, kind sir. And I
Yes. Well,
mentally think I need to learn more about this goddess if I'm going to pretend to be worshipping her. And but I eat the meat.
yeah, he
So-
kind of what is watching you, just very intrigued. Not like he's trying not to be rude to stare at you, but he is kind of
Ignore that.
obviously.
Sorry, ignore that.
Oh Lord!
Sorry, ignore that. I was fiddling around. Sorry.
Bit gas, bit
Right,
of gas from the food there. Yeah.
Yes. Apologies. It unsettled my stomach rather. Ignore that, please. Yeah. Wrong button. Sorry.
As long as you're okay.
Very okay. Thank you, sir.
So, what brings you to the island? You don't look like the normal lot that we get here.
Oh, we've got work to do, as it was, my good man. We've been sent out to peruse the local environments and see what goods we can acquire
I see.
and what goods we can sell.
Ah, then. So you didn't bring anything to sell. You just came to check out the island, and he kind of looks a little not like super suspicious, but he's just kind of quizzical.
Oh, we brought a box full of goods and of the movable kind. This all sounds very suspicious, doesn't it? Can we openly say that we're just going to traffic a dwarf everywhere? Just put him in a box.
You're trafficking a dwarf? You're in slave
Well-
trade, or? I mean, we don't judge here. We don't judge, but interesting. I've not had that before here.
Well, we don't want to go into too much details because of the client we are due to meet, but it's less slave trade and more returning a problem to somebody else to deal with.
Ah, I see. He kind of just like nods to himself as he carries on eating. So, are you on the island for long?
Well, we're hoping the individual I've just spoken of should arrive in the next day or two, and then we will be off.
Lynn? Is Marcan eating at the moment?
He is, yep.
So I'm going to ask you a question, and I want to hear what your thoughts are on it.
Okay.
Okay, so he's eating at the moment,
He's eating, yes.
and is he eating a piece of meat? Is he eating broccoli? What is he eating, Lynn?
It's probably eating a bit of roast potato.
Possible.
Really, you're
So-
going to do him this way? Oh my god, go on.
Well, what I was thinking is because I've got telekinetic and I can shove people.
Right.
I'm thinking, can I shove the potato like down his throat and make him choke or something? Is that something I can do?
Let me. This is new. This is not what I thought you were going to do here. Let's have a look. Telekinetic shove. Shove.
It says I can shove in a pub.
It
Sorry,
says
go on,
you
yes.
can shove one creature.
Hmm.
So I suppose.
mean, do
Technically,
you-
if he eats meat, that is part of a creature.
No, it's not.
That's why I was asking.
No. So you could telekinetically shove him, and that could potentially cause him to start to choke if he's partway through eating, and then suddenly is pushed back against the wall or something. That could obviously make him potentially choke. I would probably say that you'd have to roll like a D100 and it'd be a percentage chance of him choking or not. But obviously then if he didn't choke, he's probably going to be like, what the hell was that? Because he would have felt the shove. Like, even though you're not doing it, you know, it would still feel as if something has pushed him.
KKK.
But yeah,
it says I can also pull. Sorry, go on.
It says you can also what? Sorry?
It says you can also push or pull them. That's what it says. So, if I can't push him and force him to choke in his own food, which I thought would have been hilarious, I've got a dagger, but I can't stab him through the heart, can I, if I pull him towards me? No, I'm just thinking out loud here, Lynn, sorry.
Okay. Well, yeah, in the meantime, he is still enjoying his meal, kind of like looking to everybody else, expecting them to try and make some form of conversation.
Ooh, I like Dex's idea. Why is force his hand into the back of his throat so he impales himself on his fork? Too dark, too grim.
I feel like
Too hard to explain to the other.
Yeah,
guards
subtlety.
To be like,
Okay.
He
Okay.
slipped on his own fork.
We don't know what
With
happened.
3 complete strangers in there.
Yeah,
with
he
us.
rammed his face onto his fork through his eyeball. We don't know why he did that. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, fair.
Didn't happen,
Okay.
remember?
Anyway, yeah, so he is just kind of like looking to each of you, like as he's kind of eating, like smiling when he catches your eye. Like he's tried to make a bit of conversation.
I couldn't help but notice the medallion that you wear.
Yes. And he kind of like, almost like automatically kind of like reaches up and holds it.
Is there any meaning behind it? Is it like a family crest, or like it seems quite ornate, but I've not seen one like it before.
He kind of pauses a little. And he's like, it's my brother's. I just wear it to remind me of him.
Can I? And I'm sorry if this is too personal, but can I take that to mean that you've lost your brother?
He kind of pauses, stares at you for a second again, and it's like he's trying to weigh you up. Can you just roll me a straight charisma?
You know it.
Yeah. So he kind of is staring at you for like a good kind of like 20 seconds, just kind of staring at you, holding this medallion. He's like, no, he's nothing like that. He's back on the mainland. I just, I help him, give him gold and things. That's partly why I set this place up.
Is there a reason why you don't have him here helping you run the place?
And he kind of gets this very, like, almost sweet smile on his face as he's thinking. He's like, yeah, he's busy on the mainland. He runs the chapter of Lost Souls. I don't know if you have heard of it.
OC, would we have heard of it?
Possibly. Roll me a history check.
All of us?
Anybody that wants to get involved in the conversation at any point, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, go on then.
Vicky, you're sure your goddess has told you something about this?
It's not my real goddess, thank God.
So you've heard the name, like, kind of be mentioned around in like Waterdeep, but you can't quite remember what it is. Mishak, you know it and know it quite well. You know that it's a refuge for those in the world that are seeking aid or respite but don't have the funds to be able to go to an inn or something like that. And you would also know it is, even those that are considered unlawful or criminals also go there to seek aid and respite. Like, they don't discriminate.
What a nice brother.
He has got a nice brother.
Flynn,
Yeah.
based on where Ricker is, what is the most flammable looking building or area?
Yes.
None of the buildings themselves look particularly flammable. They are all solid, built out of stone.
Yeah.
So probably the most flammable area that you can see from where you are would be the
Sacks you're
pile
in.
of either the sacks that you're in or
Yeah.
the pile of kind of wood that's placed up against this
I can
building.
I can see something through here, through the gaps in the wall. Is it like bars or
Through
or
where?
windows?
Sorry, I can't see where you're pinging. If you're
So there's like it's like a window or a grill there.
Yep, that's a window. It's into another building.
What can I see in that inside there? Because I can see there's some barrels there, and what looks like maybe a bed there.
Yep. That is what you can see. It looks like it's somebody's quarters in there. So you can see that
And,
there's a bed in there. It looks like there's a desk, a rug, and a
Right.
couple of bits of barrels.
So judging by through those bars, there's nobody in there then.
Not that you can see.
No. Can I try the door?
Yeah, you can try the door. It does not open.
I have got thieves' tools, and I am proficient, so
Yeah, so it would be Dex with your proficiency bonus.
yeah. Where's my proficiency bonus? I can't even see it.
It's
can't see
plus 3. It's on you.
Ah,
Near the
there
top
it
of
is.
your
Yeah. Sorry about that. Straight dex plus 3.
Okay, yep, you managed to open that.
Okay. Let's have a little looky inside. I'm just trying to find anything valuable, but also at the same time, I'm looking for somewhere to put a flammable explosive device. In case we need some form of distraction, so people would run to the other side of the fort, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, so the room that you've come in is kind of what you can see is in there
Yeah.
on the map. It's quite well made, comfortable furniture,
Oh.
and it looks to be quite a beautiful, quite a relaxing room actually. And there is incense that's burning in the room from the table, and that's providing quite a nice aroma.
Is there anything valuable that I can see
You'd
in
have
the
to roll
room?
perception for that.
Okay.
So no, there's nothing that, other than
Right.
the well-made furniture and things like that, that obviously would have some value. But you would kind of be noticed, like carrying a freaking desk out of the fort.
Yeah.
There's no like chest or anything, or
Mm.
there's nothing in there.
Well, since there's not that much flammable items in there, because sometimes in forts they normally have like a small building in the courtyard or something with like wooden roofs or something, what they put horses in. I was thinking of stashing an explosive device in there. That's me for the moment. I was just
Okay, can you just
having
roll
a little
stealth again
nosy.
for me, please?
Yep.
Has it been more or less than an hour, Lynn, since we entered?
Probably just less than.
You've still got
Yeah.
plus 10. That's kind. Thanks,
Yeah,
Lincoln.
so I've got a plus 10 as well as this.
Okay, yep.
Yep.
Let me just... Where is my... Yeah, so what's going on in the other room? as he is kind of, he's just mentioned about his brother. You do recognize it. You do like know what that was, Meshach.
Yep.
I've never heard of such a place. It sounds like a kind place. Your brother sounds like a kind man. No? Have you guys heard of?
Yes, they're a. Well, if you don't mind me speaking freely, they are a very charitable group who help those who are on hard times.
And Marcan's kind of
Yes, I
nodding.
can say. Yes, I can say I've only heard of the name, but as my compatriots say, it has quite the positive reputation to itself. So, at this, Salar simply raises his wine glass again to Mark and says, "Cheers to your brother, good sir."
And he gladly kind of reaches and clinks glasses too. He's like, yes, we
Very nice.
much of the gold that I acquire through this fort is sent to my brother.
I'm sorry, I meant to ask OC. Can you pop Bundy up on here somewhere so I can like flit him around as well?
Yes. Where is Bundy? I'll just pop in there.
It's probably still on the last map. Yeah. Sweet.
At this, Salar kind of. Salar is enjoying the wine, even though he knows it's cheap and nasty. And
Does
he
it
gets a bit
taste that
slightly.
way?
No, it doesn't, but he knows it is. It's part of the fun in alcohol is the psychological side of it, my good man. And he turns to Marcan with a slight smile on his face. Not quite inebriated. Salar's a bit of a lightweight. And he says, "So, what is a man of your renown and your repute? I dare say you've probably had a couple of hits against you. Any daring stories of escape or anything like that to share to the table?"
Kind of raises an eyebrow and he's like, no, I don't really. I've never had any hits against me. Some people try and come to the island and cause problems, but my guards deal with that mostly. I don't get involved in the day-to-day running of the fort.
Well, at this, he kind of like raises his glass again and probably takes up a little bit of a bit more of a gentler swig on it this time. And he's like, "Well, to your continued safety, my good sir."
Yes, sure. And he kind of takes another sip, looking a little bit confused, but kind of lets it go because he thinks you're all a bit weird.
I think he's right.
And indeed, we are. Yes.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the food.
Yes. I was wondering if you could maybe take us on a tour of your lovely fort. Are there many guards around here? What other wonders are there that we haven't seen yet? I've never been in anywhere so military or orderly.
Well, yes. I mean, there's always. I can. Sure, if you want to go look in the buildings. And he kind of like stands up, straightens his outfit out, looks a little bit confused. And he's like, "Follow me then." Kind of moves past you and steps out.
He steps outside and give a quick look to these two, and I'm just like, what are we doing?
I don't know myself.
No.
Literally all waiting for an attack of opportunity. Every single one of us like waiting for circumstances to go, "Yep, this'll do."
Yeah. I mean, I thought him choking on his own food would have been delightfully whimsical, but that's just me.
I'd have made sure I did that fork up his nose.
Again.
I knew I liked you for a reason, Dex.
Not super subtle.
Yeah, but they won't
No, it's
find
not,
the body. It's going to be locked away.
Kind of like wanders around, gets to this kind of door here, and is like, right, so behind here is I can't let you in, unfortunately. But this is where we keep all our paperwork and maps of the island, and the gold is kept in here. I'm sure I can trust you not to steal it, of course.
Oh, I want the knot.
Yes, yes. Well, it's well guarded, so it would be foolish to try. Follow me. He kind of moves here, and as you're about to kind of come to this building here, the cook kind of steps out with plates again that seem to have like fruit and things on that he was bringing for dessert, and he's like, "Oh, Captain, I was gonna bring. I guess you don't want this." The captain's like, "Oh, yeah, yes, we will. If you just take it and leave it in the room, and we'll be back." And he's like, "All right," and then starts ambling off at a ridiculous slow pace, kind of huffing and puffing. As the captain kind of steps forward, he's like, "This is the kitchen. Clearly, that's where the chef just came from."
Yes.
I'm afraid it's probably not that exciting, to be honest. But if you, yeah, all right, you're still wanting to, yeah, sure. And he kind of carries on.
Nodding. Yes.
Well, if I may, I mean, I'm assuming if Kane is in a cell, could we see that?
He isn't in a cell. He's chained in the guards' quarters. We don't actually have a cell here.
I understand.
This is the equipment room, weapon storage and such.
What's this, Lynn?
That is a guard.
Okay.
This behind me here is the guards' sleeping quarters, but let's not disturb them. Some of them may be resting. And he kind of like nods to this guard, and the guard kind of like bows his head. He's like, "Captain," as they go past, and then he is watching you very carefully as you kind of wandering around with Marcan. Marcan kind of wanders up to this door here and opens it, kind of pulls out a key, opens the door, and he's like, "And these are my quad." And as he steps in, he looks at the other door, and he's like, "Huh. Interesting. Why is that open?" And he's kind of talking to himself as he wanders over.
Why is what open?
The guards...
So as...
Oh.
No, go on to finish point, Lynn.
The guards do not have keys to my room, so this should be locked. He kind of steps past and kind of pushes out, goes and speaks to this guard, and is clearly like whispering to him, so you can't quite make out what he is saying unless you want to roll for it.
While he's out of the room? While he's out of the
Can I
room.
roll perception?
Scan it.
Yeah, you can roll perception. So you're scanning the room. What are you looking for exactly?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah. What's on the desk, if there's anything of interest on the desk.
Yeah, roll perception for me. So Salah, you can hear, assuming that you're rolling perception to hear what Marcan is saying, you can hear him kind of
Correct, yes.
very much under his breath, kind of talking, and is like, "We need to alert all the guards straight away that I think there is possibly an intruder in the fort." And the guard is like, "Yes, sir," and immediately kind of steps off and moves and like goes into the building over there. And Marcan kind of comes back, like he stood kind of looking, trying his best to kind of play it cool as he comes back to you guys. He's like, "Yes, and that's pretty much the fort, unless you want to walk the walls, which you're more than welcome to do."
Did I spy anything in the room? Was there anything of interest?
So there's nothing in there other than what I described before. So the furniture is very well made, quite posh. You can tell that he has obviously spent a lot of money on making this quite a comfortable room. but there is nothing of any sort of value. There's no paperwork or anything lying around. You get the impression that probably anything of value is kept in the room where he mentioned that there are guards in there counting money and things like that.
Lynn,
Yep.
if I was to attack Marcan now with a cantrip, just casually, just putting it out there. No, because it'd have to leave no evidence, so I couldn't firebolt his ass, could I?
Also, just for reference, he is
Bit noisy.
That's noisy, so people would hear it, and there are several guards around, in buildings and up on the walls and things. And also, he is not somebody that would die instantly.
KKKK. So at this, Solar simply turns to him and says, "Yes, my good man, if you could show us up on the walls, that would be most appreciated, yes."
Sure. Yes, of course. And he kind of starts...
And OC, how high did you say the walls were?
The walls are 30 feet high.
Okay, it's not jumpable.
Which, I mean, yes, we can go this way, it's fine. And he kind of just starts walking you around the edge of the walls.
Can I... So is he close to the edge? So as we're walking along the walls, Lynn, how high are the... What are they called now? They're not... I'm going to sound really stupid. How high is, like, the wall that separates it from the... thank you, the battlements.
You mean, like, how high
does
does the wall come up on your body kind of thing, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that probably... It's not super high. It's probably, like, just below waist height. And as he's kind of showing you around where he's kind of stood now, as you're like looking around over the wall and things, you can see that not only is the 30-foot drop from the wall where it meets the ground here kind of thing, but obviously there's a big cliff there that is probably another like 70, 80 feet down.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Lynn, can I try? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. Oh no, I don't. Guys, help me out here.
Well, I haven't come up. So
Yeah, I've also not come up yet.
Yeah, so there is
don't
just
forget
you
we
with
need
him.
the medallion as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you would get the impression, Salah, that yes, if he was to take a tumble from around the wall, that there are several points on the wall that if he took a tumble, he would not just be tumbling 30 feet, he would be tumbling significantly more than that, and that probably would injure him significantly, if not kill him. But you would also remember that you do need that amulet from around his neck, otherwise you can't prove that you killed him and won't get paid.
Yeah, we need proof of death.
Yeah, we need proof of death. How about... It's not dark yet, is it? It's still light outside, isn't it?
No, see, it's probably getting dark now, because you kind of went up there in the evening and you've been sat kind of chatting with him, and then he's walked you around the entire fort. So it probably is getting dark, if not already dark here.
Cool. I think I'm going to go for it, guys. Is everyone okay with that?
How are you going to get the medallion?
So my thinking is, sorry about this, Lynn, you can correct me at any point. I am going to shove him off. I will use fly to get down, pick up the medallion off his broken body, fly back up, and reconvene somewhere else. And everyone else makes their way speedily out of the fort.
How do they know to do that, though? Because nobody...
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really good point.
I mean, what I'd say is, if he's fallen, as long as no one sees you, do you have to speedily make a escape?
Yeah, you can say he's lost, and you don't know where he is.
He fell. Oh my god, he fell.
Yes. Okay. So is Mishak and I keep getting your character's name. It's
Okay,
Vic,
I'm
isn't
Vic.
it? Yeah, sorry, it's Vic, man. Sorry. So is Mishak and Vic coming up?
Vic is currently panicking about what's going to happen to Rico when the guards come looking.
Yeah, that's why I'd stayed down. I was going to be idling past where I knew he was and just be like whispering that the guards have been alerted he might be here.
Yes, so you kind of whisper that to Rico. Rico obviously is kind of you know he's hidden in there, but you can't
I'm
actually
assuming
see
he
him.
was there.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that little side quest, but I was assuming he was where we left him.
Yeah, he kind of went back and hid where you left him. So yeah, you can communicate. There are no guards that you can see in that area, so you could kind of communicate with him.
I'd just be like, okay, so the plan's going slowly, but he's been alerted because something was off in his room. So he's alerted guards that there might be an intruder. So just brace yourself, we might need a quick escape. Have a bomb ready.
So with that, quickly before he leaves, if he's still stood near me, because obviously I've seen Bundy appear and disappear at random. So I don't know this, but I would assume it. And Ricker is just going to turn to him and hand him a remote bomb, if this is allowed. And he's just going to be like, give this to your little friend. Have him put it somewhere where it's very flammable. It'll go off when I say so. That should help us get out. And then this little dwarf hand is going to appear out of the sacks with a bomb in it.
I will quickly try to pocket the small bomb.
Yep.
On the tour as you went around, would there have been anywhere that looked highly flammable?
Guards' sleeping quarters. People are flammable.
Not
That's
really.
true.
I mean, yeah, you could probably assume that there are beds in the guards' sleeping quarters which could catch fire. You would know that, the wood here, the stairs are made of wood, so they could potentially catch fire. There were some
The
barrels
room with the gold.
in the chef's room as well. The room with the gold you didn't go in. You weren't allowed in there, and you were told that there were guards in there. So you don't know what's actually in there. So as Rick is kind of doing that, Vic, you would notice as the guard that went into the guards' quarters has come out with three and come out with two other guards, and another guard kind of came down. You seem to have approached them. Do you?
Yeah, I think I've made an assumption that Mishak's going to go and warn Ricker, and I'm trying to just be a little bit distracting to buy them some time.
Okay.
So I'm just going to come kind of up to the guards as they're all kind of forming, and just be like, I hear there's trouble afoot. I fear bad things are happening. Shall I bless you? I could bless you with good luck and fortune on your adventure. Your quest to avenge and save whatever is happening here.
Sure. And
Yes,
they're all kind of looking at each other, very confused, but yeah, there's just this strange little old creature has come up to them, so they're like,
Yes, I am Marcan's guest. I am the priest whom was there earlier. I didn't really do much, but I was there. Please, onto one knee. Let us pray. And I gesture for them all to get down on one knee and just stop for a minute.
do we have time for this? And they're kind of looking at each other. Can you roll persuasion for me?
Yeah. No, it's performance. It's no better, but 20?
Yeah, okay, yeah. They kind of they're like, do we have time for this? And then they're like, well, it might help us. And okay. So they kind of like kneel down, and one of them's like, is this going to take long though? Because we don't want to annoy Mark, and we've got stuff to do.
No. Standard 4-minute ritual. Don't worry.
4 minutes. Oh, okay. Get
Oh,
on with it.
goddess Luna. And I just start.
Roll performance for me.
Oh no.
Fucking hell.
Was my persuasion not enough?
Oh.
They kind of
wow.
they stay kneeling there, but they are looking very like they think that you're doing something, but you're putting on like too much of a show for it. So they're like not convinced that you're not blessing them, but they think you may be overdoing it a little bit, and they're like kind of getting like a little bit impatient. Like a couple of them kind of like go to stand up.
God bless this man who's standing up and should still be kneeling. God bless.
And as this is all going off, I simply turn to Mark and says, I'm awfully sorry, old sport, about this. And it just kind of looks Mark in the eye a bit and says, ta-ta, and uses my telekinetic push to try and shove him over the battlements, please, Lynn.
Okie dokie. So that the target must.
So it's a DC
8 plus your
sorry,
proficiency.
plus the ability modifier of the score increase, so that would be my intelligence.
Okay, so that's 8 plus what's your proficiency bonus?
Oh, where do I find that out again?
Should
Sorry,
be on
Lynn.
the,
Oh, it's
it
plus
should be
3.
at the top. So
Plus 3.
8,
Yeah.
9, 10, 11, and then plus your intelligence, which is what? Your intelligence mod?
Plus 3.
I've already forgotten what I was on. 11, 12,
So
13,
8 plus-
14. So
yeah.
it's 14 he has to do. Right, okay.
Yes.
Alright, let's go.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Let's see what he does. 12. Got 12. Yeah.
What?
Ta-ta.
Oh,
He kind of like, as you're like, I'm sorry about this, he kind of like looks very baffled and then is shoved, obviously not by you as far as he's aware, shoved, kind of teeters just for a second as if it's like wobbling his arms around. He's like, oh, like screaming quite loudly as he falls down and hits the floor at the bottom.
as soon as the screaming resonates throughout the fort, Salar tries to nip it quick, and I cast Fly on myself, Lynn.
Yep.
And what I'm doing, so I will use that's a 3rd level spell. So I'm just going to use one of those spell slots up now. I will fly down, and I'll inspect the state of Marcan's body, please.
Yep.
I can see a big red X over it.
Yep. Roll
Investigation. I have got a 10.
Yeah, so he's kind of he is dead. He's fallen. It looks like he smacked his head or like several times kind of as he went down the edges of the cliff face. So he's kind of split his skull quite badly. There's a lot of blood there. Bruises, scratches all over his body. You're kind of like fiddling around and it's taking you quite a long time. To the point where you can hear kind of a voice up on the rocks above you, kind of getting closer, but you do find the pendant.
Nice. So at this time as well, Lynn, I don my Cowl of the Faceless as well.
Yep.
And I say, awfully sorry, old sport. Nothing personal. Sounded very British for an assassin here, aren't I?
Yeah.
And
Bad guys.
We do make the best bad
Sorry,
guys.
Misha?
That's true.
Yes, we do. We make awesome bad guys
Yeah.
with good cups of tea as well. And as I acquire the pendant, amulets, whatever it is,
Yep.
I start to fly so far back up. Can I perceive who is upon the battlements, please, Lynn?
Well, yeah. So as you fly back up, a guard is literally running around the corner, so you would be able to see him. And he's like, "What happened? What is going on?" The guards that
Can I-
the guards. Sorry, just to say, the guards that you were
Go on.
talking to, as soon as they heard the scream, they're like, What is going on?" And they start rushing past you, and heading towards the stairs where they obviously heard the scream come from.
Oh no, this is incomplete. The gesture is incomplete. I'm just going to follow them and pretend that that's why I'm following them.
Okay, yeah.
Oh god, I can just imagine him shuffling after him with his walking stick, like, wait,
Waving
you're
his
not
hands
blessed,
in the air, going, "Wait,
you're
no!"
not blessed.
Misha, what are you up to while this is going on?
While they're doing that, I will have handed over said small bomb to Bundy. And now that I'm assuming I can't see, but I would hear the commotion's all like up here somewhere. Where's it all happen?
The commotion is down by where they went up onto the walls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I can't see from my vision, but I'd be able to hear them.
Yep.
So I'm going to get Bundy to fly over this side, and let's say deposit it under these stairs.
Okay. Yep.
And then I'm going, once I know he's there, he's going to tell me telepathically that he's done it. And I'm going to come back over to Rika and be like, now'd be the time to blow that shit.
Right. And literally, like, obviously it is a usable item as a bonus action, but because I'm not in combat anyway, I'm assuming I'm allowed to just set it off. There you go. I shared it via the VTT, so
Yep. Okay.
that would
so you've
explode.
ignited it, so obviously it takes a little while for the
No.
fuse to-
I armed it when I passed it to him, and it says as a bonus action I can just set it off.
Okay. Yeah.
It can either ignite after 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
it blows up, makes a loud bang on that side of the thing, kind of ruins those ladders.
Hopefully blows up those stairs.
I am assuming. Hang on. It's within 10 feet.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to make a dex save. Du- 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 du. He got 11, so he takes damage for that. So it's 3d6. Yep. So you can hear you hear this massive explosion come from the top and the north end of the fort, and you can hear screaming kind of coming from up that side as well.
That's what we wanted.
Two guards kind of rush out of this building here and are kind of stood around the bottom of the stairs because it's been destroyed, kind of like looking around, not knowing what the hell to do. As back on the other side, this guard is kind of still stood staring at Salah as more are kind of rushing up the stairs with Vic kind of in the middle of them, annoyingly, because they're trying to get around him. This old
What the hell is going on here?
While that's happening, can Ricker actually get out of here because he's not supposed to be here?
Well, that's why I was just going to, before he does, I was going to come over here and can I see the unlocking mechanism for the door?
yeah, so it is basically just a huge like
Piece of wood
that's put into the things to lock it, basically. So you just lift the bar off and the door will open.
Okay. As I'm going to be shouting, like, what the hell's going on here? What's happening? This isn't safe.
Yeah, no one's paying any attention to you. They're all like either focused on what's going on at the south or the north.
Good.
I'm going to lift up the door thing.
Yep.
If I
Just do me a strength, yeah.
Oh, I'm really not.
You can't budge it. You're like, yeah, okay, and you're like, "Ugh," and it's just not even moving at all. You're like, it must be stuck or something, right? Because you just cannot shift it even slightly.
I'm like, Ricky, get out of here.
Yeah, Ricker will give it a go.
Yep.
Straight strength.
Straight strength, yep. Yeah, so you're able to easily kind of like lift it out of place, kind of put it to the side, and the doors are obviously now able to just swing open easily.
Yeah. Ricker will stand to the side of it with his gun ready, and he'll just like give Mishak a head nod.
Like, get out of here! Get out of here!
Right, I'll meet you at the tavern.
Yes.
And then he's gonna go,
Okay, yeah.
and he's going to try and sneak away from this location.
Okay, so it's probably been more than an hour now, so you don't have the plus
Yeah,
10,
that's what
but
I
you
was
can just
thinking.
roll stealth. You do obviously still have the cowl on.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
So while this is going off, then Lynn, I've acquired the pendant. I've put the cowl of the Faceless on, and I've flown so far back up the cliff.
Yep.
Now that I've seen the guards are starting to congregate and night is starting to fall, I will hover around below the bottom of the wall itself, the fort, and I will try to circumvent my way around, if that makes sense, Lynn.
Okay, yeah, so roll stealth as well. Ricky,
God.
as you're kind of making your way out, the cowl is just like shifted just so slightly, and it's kind of blocking your vision a little bit. And you're kind of like, yeah, I'll meet you at the inn. Turn around, head out the door, and fall again, and just land kind of on your face. Like, look around, and luckily none of the guards even heard it because they're all so focused on what's going on. So you're able to kind of make a not very dignified escape.
Yeah, he's just going to holster his gun and quickly remove the cowl, and he's going to be off. He's gone.
Okay, yeah. So you're kind of like, the guard kind of came rushing around going, what's going on? What's going on? You kind of heard that and hovered kind of just below his vision, so you didn't quite float up to get to him. And you are able to kind of make your way past the other guards that are just rushing up onto the wall. You can hear them kind of like running along the wall above you, but none of them seem to be even noticing you. You are quite an intelligent person, so you would know that you probably need
Supposedly.
that they are going to look over the wall, obviously, because they heard screaming, so they're going to look over, so you need to get around quite quickly. You would know that there is kind of a time frame on how stealthy you are able to be.
Yeah, so I am just making my way as fast as I humanly can.
Yeah, so as you... Yeah, go on.
No, go and finish your point, Lynn, sorry.
I was going to say, as you kind of get round to like this point, probably here, you would see Ricka kind of just picking himself up off the floor, kind of dusting himself down and making his way back towards the town. Making my way downtown.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
So then I would land here, Lynn, with my cowl still up and the amulet.
Yep.
And I would simply just say to Ricka, mission accomplished, old sport.
Ricker had been gone. He'd just be gone. He wouldn't have even heard anything.
I mean, this was all happening at once.
Running.
So yeah, so he arrived literally as Ricker was getting himself up off the ground.
No, I mean he wouldn't have acknowledged it. He wouldn't have even turned his head round. He'd have just gone, shit's going down. I'm gone.
Okay.
Fair. So I land. So go on.
Yep. So
go on, Lynn.
I assume you're are you staying outside the fort, or are you coming back in?
Absolutely not. I'm turning tail and running.
You're going. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you can head back towards the town as well. So, Vic, as you're kind of shuffling, these guards are desperately trying to get around you as you're like shuffling, and they're like, could we move a little bit faster? Like, what is going on? And you would spot that this guard up here is kind of looking over the wall now, and he's like, it's the captain, he's fallen, or I think he's dead, as they're kind of all rushing up. These two kind of rush past you like, could you have moved slower?
I'm old. Have you not seen my stick? I'm old, I'm sorry.
This one is kind of like looking over the wall, sees like the mess that is left of the captain, and then kind of turns to you and is like, could you do something? Could you heal him if we could get down there?
Yes, if he's still alive, I can heal him. I'm not strong enough to bring him back, but I can heal him if he yet lives. And I'm like just hoping that they've done the job.
Yeah, this one kind of is looking over and he's like, I think I can see brains. And like he turns and he's like holding his like hand over his mouth as if he's going to throw up. The one that has been looking the longest is like, he's gone, I think. He's not moving and there are bits of something coming out of his head. Can you fix that?
Can anyone fix that? I'm a priest, not I don't know, a person that fixes dead brains. I'm not a neurologist.
Necromancer.
Necromancer, I was thinking necromancer.
Oh,
Well,
brilliant.
we need to get to him, and they're kind of like trying to get past you again to go back down the stairs. As the guard that's in front of you is like, can you?
Oh, I can't do right for doing wrong, I'm sorry. Let me to you.
just leave. It's probably best if you just leave. Just go.
Okay. And I'll very slowly walk down the stairs.
He's like desperately trying to like hurry you up. He's like, yep, come on, let's keep it going, keep moving.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
and he kind of like runs the long way around, kind of sees Meshach, but not really pays any attention. Kind of runs round to get into the building where he's trying to get rope.
Like, what's going on?
Just get out. He's like gathering ropes and things for them to climb down the side of the walls.
He's dead. He's dead. And I wink because
Who's dead?
Yeah.
Who's dead?
Marcan, the big boss man.
What's going on? What's all this chaos? As the cook kind of comes round the corner.
If your constitution can handle the stairs, I think you'd better check out what's going on up there. It's not good.
Up where?
The battlements.
And
Marcan,
he kind of stares at you, looks down at his like extremely chonky self, and looks back up at you, and he's like, "I don't climb stairs."
no, well,
Not seen the battlements in 30 years.
your boss is dead. I guess you're the boss now.
I don't know if that's how it. But he's dead. How did he die? What?
Brains, apparently. I don't know. I couldn't see. Maybe it was your cooking.
How dare you? And he kind of like stands up as straight as he possibly can.
I will say the meat was excellent, but I care not for vegetables. Anyway, I must be off. I'm old and need my bed. Goodbye. And also the trauma of the night.
No, not that way. That's not the way.
Where are you going? The door's
Let me get
over
out
here.
of this infernal fort.
The door's over there.
So many walls.
That is the door. It looks like a wall.
It looks like it's the door. Yeah. Just go. I'm moving you. Just go. The cook kind of is slowly making his way back round. And he's like, I think your friends have left.
I know, but I'm just... Guards, what is happening? What's this explosion? Is this a normal occurrence here? Like, are you guys pirates attack? What is happening?
The guards look absolutely flustered as they're trying to like put out flames and things, and like there's a guard up at the top of the stairs that is he's just kind of on the floor screaming with pain, and he's like, my arm. And they're like, we're getting there, 1 second. And they kind of like turn like, does it look normal? Does this look like a normal occurrence that would happen here? No, it's not normal, okay? Some sort of fire, explosion. I don't even know. I don't know what would cause stairs to explode.
While they're doing that, can Bundy make an attack on the guy that's been blown?
Sure.
A sting bite attack.
Okay.
Let's see. Nope. Okay. No.
Yeah. He's kind
But
of it's rolling around
and
and
reveal himself though, so he'll come out of invisible. So he'll just hiss and then like fly off in this direction.
As Bundy kind of reveals himself, the guy has been kind of like holding his very charred arm, kind of like screaming. And then he starts screaming even more. And he's like, oh my, what is that? Oh, by the gods, help me, there's some demon attacking me. And these two guys are kind of like looking up going, what are you talking about? Like, they're getting even more flustered. And they're like, look, we don't have time for you, okay? Just go. If you can't help him, just go.
I'm out of here. This place is crazy.
Okay. I'm assuming you're heading back to the town, so we'll pop you back on that map.
Yeah, by this point.
So as we start, go on.
No, I was just gonna say Ricker had already be down in if the bar is still open.
Yep, the bar is always open.
Yeah, he'd be back on his stool at this point, and he'd already be like waiting for everybody else to come back.
Yeah, so as you kind of come in and sit on the stool, Meg kind of lifts the hatch and comes, and like you can see that she's tied what looks like rope on one side of the stool, and then she kind of like puts it over your lap and ties it on the other, and she's like, I don't know if that'll work, but it's worth a try, right?
Ooh, yeah, very ingenious. Could I get the name, please? Let's test this puppy out.
Sure. And she kind of, not overly confident in her invention, kind of comes back, gets you a drink, pops it on the table. She's like, this one's on the house, for the fall.
Oh, thank you. Very good. Very good. No claims of injuries. Don't worry.
She kind of gives you a grin and then kind of moves back to doing what she was doing, kind of like wanders into a room that's just behind the bar that you would assume is like the kitchen and things where they make food. What is Salah doing? Because he will have got there slightly quicker than everybody else as well.
Yeah, so as soon as I walk almost into the village proper, before I actually walk into the village, I make sure that I've stored the amulet away secretively within my robes.
Yep.
Because I don't want to be jangling around that in public. And
I'd just like to say,
I also,
at least she didn't hide it somewhere else.
and at least I didn't pass it to someone else. And I also removed the cowl of the Faceless as well, because I don't want to be upsetting people as I walk down.
Yep.
So I'll be taking... Yes. Sure you did, Puddy. And so I'll be taking almost leisurely walk into the establishment.
Yep.
And as he sees Meg is currently busy at the moment in time, he simply walks over to Ricker, pulls up a seat here next to him, and he says, you've already got yourself a beverage, my good man. Are you getting one of the houses for a job well done, as it were?
What are you talking about? What job? And he kind of like uses his eyes to gesture to Sala, like there's people around. Shush.
I'm a word-class assassin, good sir. A job in meeting the locals and establishing excellent connections for future business ventures.
Oh, right. Yes. Whatever you just said.
Indeed, good sir. And he simply waits for Meg to return and orders a... You know what? Screw it. I'll wait till Meg returns and then he'll order one of the finest bottles in the establishment.
Yeah, so you can hear kind of like banging and stuff going on in the kitchen, and then Meg kind of comes out kind of a little bit flustered, kind of covered almost head to toe in flour. She's clearly had some sort of incident in the kitchen. She's looking furious as she kind of spots you, comes over, and she's like, yes.
Seeing that Meg is covered in flour, he uses prestidigitation and cleans her down thoroughly. And he says, my dear, a lady of your beauty should never be covered in white stuff. A bottle of your finest bottle of wine, please, my lady.
Oh, wow.
She kind of looks down at her like dress and is like, oh, thank you. The finest wine. And she kind of looks
You-
and
you're-
raises an eyebrow.
What is your finest wine, lady? Please tell me, and spare no expense.
And she kind of steps over, grabs one of the bottles of the wine that has the kind of golden label and plops it down on the table. She's like, this is our finest wine, but it's 10 gold.
Ah, sod it, why not? Yes, you may have the 10 gold, my good lady. I'm feeling rather charitable this evening. Yes, and he simply passes her the 10 gold that he has on his person.
She looks kind of surprised. She's like, oh, no one's bought one of these in... Wow, okay. All right. Enjoy.
Yes, and you ever look so much nicer now, lady, without the white stuff on you. Well done, well done. Gets a glass, tips the glass gently towards Rika, and takes a very small sip. Aromatic, full-bodied, and the wine isn't too bad either. Thank you very much.
She kind of just rolls her eyes and starts kind of wandering off, heads back into the kitchen again. Mishak and Vic, you would probably have arrived by now.
Yeah. Gonna be turning to him and be like, can you just sort of trying to do it quiet, but loud enough so that if anyone was happening to be listening, they would hear.
Okay.
And just be then like, what was going on up in the fort? I mean, are they saying one of Crane's men attacked Marcan? That was...
What?
It was crazy.
What? All I know is that apparently Markham, he's dead. Markham's dead. Did you say it was one of Crane's men?
Well, that's what I thought one of the guards was saying as they were ushering us out, that Crane had an inside man, or I don't know.
Oh, Saloon, save us. Oh.
This bloody goddess.
It's not like I have no connection to this goddess.
No.
This is just a ruse. We must. Do you think we're a target as well?
Well, I mean, we did have that run-in with him earlier today.
Oh no. Oh, we should leave. We should leave sooner rather than later. We can't risk being hurt, as just people that were wandering around. Do you think we should tell the others? And I very sneakily check to see if people are already listening to us.
Yeah, so they would the two kind of guards that are sat at this table here kind of immediately leant forward and were trying to make it look like they weren't listening, but they obviously are listening, and they kind of get up quite hurriedly and start making their way out of the building and kind of, you would assume, towards the fort possibly. And as they head out, a familiar face of Carl kind of steps in, and he kind of walks in and is scanning the tavern, and then kind of spots you and starts heading over to you. Hello, hi. I just wanted to make sure you were okay after what had happened. I was up at the fort and they've just told me about Marcan, and apparently you saw it. Are you okay? And he's kind of looking at Vic.
Oh, it was a sight unlike any I've seen, and I've lived many, many years, my good man. I fear. No, there's not enough wine in the world that could get me through this night, but I hope someone will help fund it for me.
Well, it's pure chaos up there now. People fighting amongst themselves, people claiming it was Crane somehow, or some demon assassin or something, some flying creature. I don't know what's going to happen now.
What's the standard protocol on the island when something like this happens?
Well, usually the dockmaster would take charge, I guess, but I guess that's me.
Oh, well, would you? I mean, things are going to be, I imagine, crazy here, but we were only staying for, well, we had planned to stay for the 2 nights, but if we can, would we still be allowed to leave? Do people have to stay on the island? What is the procedure when something like this happens?
We've never had something like this happen, to be honest. I don't know. As far as I can tell, and he kind of like looks at all of you, kind of glancing, but probably not Ricker actually, because he doesn't know that Ricker is part of your group. None of you are flying creatures, so you're probably okay to leave. And to be honest, the less people on the island at the minute, the better. We don't know if it was Crane, if he's got other ideas, if he's going to cause more problems. We don't want innocent people getting hurt.
Well, our ship wasn't due to pick us up until tomorrow. Was there a way that you could lend us with, or organize a transport for us back to the mainland?
I can check around, see if any of the ships are leaving soon, and see if you can get on them. They might charge, though.
I mean, look, I think if we have to, we will.
And he kind of gives you like a bit of a nod. And you can see that although he is looking a lot better than he was last time you saw him, he is kind of still limping a little. Still obviously not 100% as he kind of heads out and heads off towards the dock. So he's going to check with the ships for you.
Yeah. Sort of look across at the other guys and just catch their eye and check that they're all alright.
At this, Salar simply gestures for Meshach and Victor come over and says, "My esteemed gentlemen, I don't know about you folks, but I'm feeling rather charitable tonight. I have, at the behest of the lovely barmaid, purchased the finest bottle of wine they have on this establishment, for want of a better word, and offer my drink to you, good sirs."
Thank you. I believe we may be getting a transport out shortly, so we should drink up and be ready.
Indeed.
To go, surely. It looks like a delightful bottle of wine.
I do love a good wine. So yeah. I can't think of anything very sad. I've had a brain freeze moment.
Okay. So
What's everyone else doing?
as you're kind of sat drinking, the Carl comes kind of back in, spots you and heads over, and he's like, I've managed to secure your passage. They're not going to Waterdeep though. They're going straight to Daggerford. Is that all right? I don't know if you need to be in Waterdeep or...
I mean,
It's the only ship leaving today, otherwise you're going to have to wait for your boat to come back.
I suppose that will have to do. I mean, we can get message from Daggerford back to our friends in town that where we are, and let them know that we'll journey back shortly.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. I'll let them know then. Are you drinking? Wow, how did you? You must be quite well off.
Oh, my boss is a bit loose with his purse, but then leaning in to give him like a wink. It does pay well.
He kind of smiles and nods, and he's like, "Well, enjoy it. I've not seen anyone drinking that wine. They've been on the shelf for, well, as long as I've been here. But enjoy, and well, you know where we are if you want to come back. Although I'd probably avoid it for a little while."
Yeah, I think best.
He kind of gives you a nod and a smile, and then heads out.
All right, guys. Our ship is ready. Down that drink, or bring the bottle with you. We can drink it on the ship.
At this, Salar picks up the bottle and he's like, "Never waste good wine, my good man."
So bring it with.
Yep.
Yep.
Rika starts like ass hopping with the like stool a little bit, and he's just like, "All right, wait for me. Hold on, Rika. Goddamn human stools. Lady, excuse me. How the hell do I get out of this thing?"
You just unfasten the side there.
Oh, right. Yeah, so he unfastens it and then falls off.
Okay, not a great design. And you see her kind of like go back to the napkin and put a kind of cross through that design that she had.
He stands up and he follows the team. Hello? Is anyone there?
Yeah.
they're just-
Still here.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you would see that there is only one ship in dock, and there's kind of the gangplank across. They're kind of loading some barrels on and things like that. But you would make the assumption that that is probably your boat.
Cool.
As you approach, an older man dressing not quite rags, but not much above that, kind of looks up as you approach the boat and is like, yes, can I help you?
Yes. Carl, the new dockmaster, said you might be able to give us passage to Daggerford.
Ah, yes, you're the group that he said you needed to get off the island. Yeah, he arranged it. He actually paid your passage as well.
Oh, that's awfully good of him.
They're very generous. He will definitely make a popular dockmaster.
I thought Crane was the... Yeah, whatever. Get on, make yourselves at home. Should be a couple of days' journey.
Thank you, good sir.
He kind of just stands and watches, waiting for everybody to get on, and then continues kind of loading up. There are a few kind of sailors on the boat, kind of moving things around as you kind of come on. They give you a few funny looks, because obviously you're not one of them, and they're like, okay. But then they just carry on with what they're doing. What are you doing?
Cool.
You just settling in?
Settling in.
Yeah, I don't think we want to talk about too much here, do we?
Yeah, so it
No.
is quite a busy ship, really. So they've given you like a little section of it where you can put your bedrolls out, but you don't have your own private room or anything like that. It's not fancy enough for anything like that. And they kind of set sail quite quickly, actually. The journey is okay. There's a few hairy moments where the sea gets a little bit crazy, but you find yourself back in Daggerford, which I have a little picture of what Daggerford actually looks like. Look, isn't that pretty?
No.
It's kind of bigger than I imagined.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
So the guy kind of like as the boat pulls up on the dock, he kind of comes down to where you guys have all been sat quite quietly. He's like, right, well, off you go.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. Goodbye.
Is he human?
He is human, yes.
I just sort of stare down my nose at him as I walk off.
He kind of like frowns a little, and then one of the sailors on the ship drops a barrel and loads of kind of fish come spilling out of it, and he's like, oh, and kind of storms over to them and starts telling them off while they're frantically trying to fix the issue. What are you guys doing?
I guess make our way back through to the headquarters.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so you kind of make your way through Daggerford. You know these streets well. Obviously, you've all lived here a little while, kind of weaving in and out of like traffic and people. Head to the money quarter where you are and kind of glance around a little bit before you would take the kind of sewer entrance to Faceless, which isn't actually a sewer, it's super clean, where you come out just behind the statue in the main room in Faceless. As you kind of get in there, you would notice that Elora is kind of sat at a table reading a book. She kind of like glances up and then looks straight back down at her book. She's not really that interested in the fact that you've just come back.
Her umbrella.
I was like, what
Is
is
this
he
you trying to
doing?
Yeah. Sounded very robotic.
Like it.
Yeah, so as you kind of like wandering around, the kind of the comfort, I guess, kind of fills you of being in a place where you are completely safe, completely able to be yourselves, and that a few of you have lived for quite a long time.
Yeah.
So it's all very familiar. And yeah, you know your way around. You can just wander around, go wherever you're going. Elora is
Elora.
still not like looking up. She's still reading her book.
Elora, is tea in?
If you mean Taliskar, then yes, she's in the briefing room downstairs.
Briefing group, thank you. Guys, should we go speak to the boss?
Indeed, we should, my good man. Salah on the journey back had a slight hangover and got slightly inebriated on the exceptionally fine wine, so I think he's learned his lesson not to drink and kill on the same mission, maybe?
Don't drink and kill.
I don't know.
Yeah, if
I
you
don't
want,
know.
Just drag you over. If you're all going to the briefing room, I'll just drag you all rather than you having to literally.
Yeah.
So I'll just pop you in the entrance.
It's too mentally taxing, Glyn, you know? It's too mentally taxing.
Yeah, so as you kind of approach and enter the briefing room, you would see that Taliskar is kind of sat on one of the chairs and Taxis is sat next to her. That she's talking to him. He's obviously not talking back because he doesn't really speak. And he's kind of like nodding and they're gesturing at like paper and things that's on the desk. As you open the door and enter, she kind of like looks up and a genuine smile kind of fills her face. She's like, you're back.
We are. Job done.
And do you have the proof? The client will need that.
At this, Salah opens up his robes and pulls out the amulet as requested, laying it on the table in the middle for everyone to see. As requested, my lady, your evidence.
Taxis kind of stands up, leans over, picks it up, and is kind of like holding it like between two fingers, like watching it kind of spin around, and then just nods and heads over to the kind of bookcase, opens a chest and kind of puts it in there. Taliskar's like, yes, well done. I trust there were no problems?
On the
Absolutely
whole,
none.
Once the mission was underway without a hitch.
Prior to the mission?
Well, some of us aren't good on bar stools or moving bottles of wine.
I'm not going to ask too much more. And she kind of like smiles. She's like, but you got the job done, and I assume no one suspects.
I feel it's safe to say that blame will be placed elsewhere.
Perfect.
Gravity.
Ah, a fall? And she kind of like raises an eyebrow, like genuinely interested.
Well, I imagine Salah can tell you more about the specifics of the fall, right, Salah?
The Solar just playfully cocks an eyebrow and he's like, a friend never asks and a gentleman never tells. So yes, gravity did indeed help on this circumstance. A gentle nudge and away he went. It was felt sorry for the old boy though, with his brain splattered everywhere. But the job was done.
Well, that's all that matters, that the job is done.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
Ulrika got to burn a few people too. That was fun.
Yes.
You, my friend, are a pyro enthusiast. Well done.
Talisker kind of is smiling. Anybody that wants to or is interested could roll insight on Talisker.
Yeah.
Inside. Yeah.
Why the hell not?
Give me some insight. Give me some insight.
Ooh.
Oof.
Oh,
There we go.
That's nice.
Well, if everyone else is, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, join in.
Come on, old.
Join in, Vic.
Oh,
Oh,
Vic.
fucking hell.
Oh,
So,
wow.
okay. So,
Poor
Vic,
Vic.
Talisker is smiling. She looks happy that you've finished your mission and everything looks fine. Mishak and Rika, you sense that while she is glad to have you back, as she always is every time you go out on a mission, there's something, she's unsettled. There's something going on. And Salah, you can tell as you kind of look at her and look at Taxis and kind of look around, something's not right. She's smiling, but there's no actual happiness there. She looks very, very worried. And as you're kind of all starting to kind of sit down around the table, Chris comes in and Salah, as you kind of turn to look at him, he has the same kind of very concerned look on his face as he comes in and starts kind of making his way around to sit next to Talisker where he would usually sit at the table.
Salar notices this and makes eye contact with Talisker and says, I know it's probably above my station to ask, but is everything well, milady? Is there something you wish to share with the group?
As you kind of say that, like, she kind of was making eye contact with you, but then kind of like looks to Archris, looks at Taxis, who comes and kind of sits back down, and he's kind of silently sliding over like coin pouches to each of you. So you have 500 gold pieces each from that last
Whoa, shopping spree.
mission.
How much? 500?
500, yep.
Oh.
Talisker kind of
New trousers.
it's like watches as you kind of all reaching for the gold and kind of smiles again, but it's like a sad smile. And then looks back up at Salah and he's like, well, I'm glad you've all returned now. I think some of you witnessed me and Taxis talking to a guest we had just before you left.
It was like it was 3 days ago.
Yes, well. I'm going to need you to do something for me. It's not a contract. We think one of the chapters has been attacked. In Sakanja, they've gone quiet and we had some contact from Silvery Moon and it didn't sound good. So I need you to travel there. Not now, you can rest, but we need to know what happened at that chapter. To lose an entire group, to lose the brothers and sisters there, and she kind of like bites her lip and like one of her fangs kind of, she's biting her lip that hard that it literally pierces the skin and there's like a little bit of blood kind of running down her chin. She's like, we need to understand what happened and I'm sending my best. And she kind of smiles, kind of genuinely at each of you. Like, she does mean that compliment. She does see you as her best, like, people in the team.
I see. Sorry, did you say Sakandra?
Yeah.
Is that a person or is that the name of the
It
chapter?
is a place. It is a name of a chapter. So you would know that it is a city.
And how is it spelled? S-E...
It is spelt really weird. So it's SS and then like I can't think what it's called. Like a little comma thing. And then K
Like an apostrophe?
apostrophe, that's the word. KHANAJA.
Ganja.
So
And
those
that
of you
is
that have
where-
been in the group for a while would know, you know that there are other chapters. You know that that is an established chapter that has been there for a considerable amount of time. And they have lost contact. The chapter was attacked, basically, which is why Taxis has closed down the portals, so you can't just teleport there. You would have to travel.
And how does... This is Meshach asking. How does this link into Silvery Moon?
Well, brother, you still managed to teleport to Silvery Moon before he is a survivor. They sent a message to us to let us know. That's why we shut down the portals. If something was able to not only find the chapter, but destroy it, it's something that is a concern to all of us. And the murders of our brothers and sisters will not go unpunished.
Never.
So, do we need to depart for Sakandra?
Rest first. Take some time here. We still have more research to do. I will alert you when it is time.
We will avenge them.
Looks like all
Yes,
the
we will
news
avenge
kind of
them, my
gonna
lady.
get Set fire to more people.
She kind of like,
Go on.
the people that said like, we'll avenge them, she kind of is nodding. Kind of Rika's like, they are like, oh, we can set fire to more people. She doesn't look disapproving, but she kind of looks a little hurt, as if he's not taking it seriously enough.
No, he
then
was saying it as basically punishing the people
just
by
saying-
setting them on fire.
Yeah, but that's how she's taken it. I'm telling you how she's taken it as a character. So she kind of like doesn't say anything to him. She just is like, rest, you'll need it. We don't know what we're up against.
As you will, my lady, as it will be done. At this, Solar just kind of stands, and I don't know, because Solar's still quite new to the organisation, so he doesn't know if he salutes or if he bows, or... So what he does, he just dips his head slightly in reverence and waits for the others to stand before he moves out.
Yes. Let's restock, refuel, avenge.
She's kind of nodding, and like Arcris kind of like is nodding as well, but very like sadly. And then he kind of stands at the same time as everybody else starts to kind of get up and kind of bows his head to both Talaskar and Taxis, and then kind of like comes to stand kind of between you all, like he's obviously going to speak to you, and he's like, well, it seems we are under attack. I know all of you are loyal and will help avenge your brothers and sisters. If you require any assistance, you know where I am.
Well, consult you before we leave. Thank you.
He kind of nods and he's like, I will see if I can find that map. I have a map of the city, I think. Perhaps that would be of use to you.
Yes. Might need
Yes,
some
it will.
diamonds too. Just in case.
He kind of like slowly nods. He's like, I'll get to it then. Rest up. Kind of just wanders off, heading back to his forge.
Ow.
What's everybody else doing?
Rika is probably going to want to find somewhere. I can't remember where the bloody hell she's gone now. For healing potions.
Lagoon. Yep.
Lagoon
Yes.
there. Yeah, he would head off to Lagoon.
OC, I would die for Lagoon. I'm just saying.
Oh, see, you might do.
Yes.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, so Lagoon is this way, and
Yeah.
then in her room over here. I don't think she's shut her door. She might have actually. No, she hasn't. I was going to say she was like upset, wasn't she, last time? So.
It's been a couple of days.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
I'll upset her a different way now.
Oh, great.
Mishak would just make his way back to his room.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Solar would do the same. I think Solar would need a bit of rest after that as well, to be honest, Lynn.
Okay. Yeah, I will just pop you on the upper layer because that's where your rooms are. I'll just pop you in one of them because you're not special enough to have your own room yet.
Yay.
Amazing. Bath for me, please. Vic needs solitude and a bath.
Okay, yeah, bath.
Bubbles!
There's
Incense,
the bath.
bubbles. Needs to wash off the murder.
Bathroom. Enjoying himself over there. Yeah, so as you kind of Lagoon is, as she normally is, she's very distracted. She's kind of getting on with kind of clipping herbs and using like a pestle and mortar to kind of grind them up. As she kind of hears you clinking along, because you're obviously not that stealthy, she kind of like turns to look and she's like, oh, you're back. Oh, how good. You're unhurt, I hope.
Oh, only my pride. I fell off of a few bar stools. Apart from that, everything went fine.
Oh, well, your pride will heal, I'm sure. What can I do for you?
Well, we're going to be sent out soon on a reconnaissance mission. It doesn't sound very good. I was just wondering if there was a way to get some really good health potions for each of us.
Oh, yes, I can get to brewing those. It will be tomorrow, if that's all right.
Oh, that's absolutely fine. How much is it?
And she kind of like giggles. She's like, you don't need to pay me.
Oh, right. Oh, well, I'm new here, so sorry.
The brothers and
So, yes.
sisters of Faceless look after their own. And this is
Well, that's
how
what it's
I help.
about. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be finding out why our brothers and sisters somewhere else are not communicating.
What do you mean, not communicating?
It could just be that messages are not getting through, but another chapter has gone quiet. So Taliskar is tasked us with going to go and check it out.
gone quiet. What on earth would that? Why would they go quiet? That doesn't sound very good at all. That sounds actually quite terrible. That sounds like something horrible has happened. And okay, everything's going to be okay. And she is having a full-on panic attack.
Yeah, he's literally stood there with his hand up in the air, like trying to express himself, but he's silent, and he's like, "It could just be that they lost their communication in the mail. You know, the postal service is very terrible."
We don't use postal service. We use sending stones and the portal. And why would that not work? That doesn't sound very good.
Well,
and she's literally like now sat on the floor, like.
He's also at Ricker height then.
Yeah.
So he just turns, he pats her on the top of the head, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry. Hush, hush, hush. It's probably some drunken dwarf from the other chapter who's fallen over off of a bar stool into the sending stones or something and broken them. We'll go check it out. But it's always good to have some, like, health just in case, health potions, in case we come across a bear or something as we're traveling, you know?"
Can you roll persuasion for me?
Oh shit, it's a -1.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
it's like you're talking, but nothing is going in, and she's just getting more and more flustered. She's like now sobbing quite a lot. It's like she can't catch her breath, and she's just like, "Oh no, oh, I hope nothing bad has happened. I bet something bad has happened. I bet something horrible has happened to them."
He just clicks his fingers really, really loud once to get her eye contact, and when she looks at him, he just goes, "Don't worry. We're just being sent to investigate. They might have all got drunk, gone out on a party. Nobody knows. Everything is fine. You focus on what you need to do to help us. If we don't have these potions, we could die."
Oh my! What? Okay, now you're gonna die. Everybody's dying. Why are people dying? I can't.
Genuinely didn't think that was going to multiply the situation.
Okay. And she is literally like at the point where she cannot, like, she is not breathing properly now, and she passes out on, like, completely unconscious on the floor.
Yeah, Ricker just walks away whistling. And he gets to the hallway, and he just like shouts in either direction. And he's just like, "I think the herbalist is broken. Can somebody come and fix her?" And then he just buggers off. He just buggers off. He probably goes to his bed to go get some sleep. That did not go well.
Yeah, so as you kind of you kind of hear a door opening, and like just as you're walking off, you would kind of hear Varakin's kind of very deep voice kind of be like, "Herbalist, what lagoon?" And he kind of like is heading off to check on her, but you wouldn't be able to hear what he was saying, obviously, because you.
Yeah, Ricker's he's fucked off right quick. He's just like, "Yep, not me. I didn't do that."
Wow. Just traumatizing her. Yeah, and I think that is where we'll finish. It feels like a good point to finish this session.
Someone write down that we've got 4 possible healing potions, because obviously in the state that she's in, she might make fucking God knows what potions.
Well, I will tell you what you get next time. So yeah, I will let you know what you have if you go and collect them.